Welcome to another Christmas edition of Wild Blessings Teaching Tuesdays. And we're going to have so much fun investigating the real meaning of Christmas and talking about how to decorate using nature and how to cook using nature as well. So what I'm doing right now, herbing around, is I am cutting up a sassafras branch, as you can see right there. And sassafras smells so good. It smells like root beer because that's what root beer used to be made out of, along with a few other different roots. But what you want with sassafras is you want the root and the bark, and that's what gives you this amazing spicy flavor. And so what I'm making for our wild tea today is a sassafras spiced cider. And so what I've got is, here, I'll bring it over. Okay, so what I've put in here, it's kind of weird. I've never done this before, so we're going to be experimenting, Jason. What I did is I put hickory nuts in here and sassafras, which has already been decocting for a long time. And so I'm adding to it some orange slices. And then I have these spices that I haven't added until right now. So I want to get this going so Jason and I can try it. So I'm putting in a stick of cinnamon and some star anise and some allspice, which those are so cool looking, and then some cloves. So we're going to get that decocting. And a decoction is when you're kind of simmering for a long time, bark and roots and thicker textures of plant matter. You can't just pour water over it and expect it to infuse anything. And so this is a decoction. So I've got this on the stove now, and we'll have this in just a few minutes. All right. What I wanted to share about sassafras while we're at it, I'm going to probably do an entire class on this because it's one of my favorite plants, and it is the reason why Daniel Boone came up to the high country. Long story there, really fascinating. But you can see it all winter long. It's green, and it always smells like root beer. And this is the best branch to use if you wanted to have a campfire and roast hot dogs over the campfire, because you've got to use an edible branch, and you want to make sure that if you're using this branch, your hot dogs will come out tasting a little bit like root beer as well. So, okay, I'm going to put these over here. And I just want to say welcome to all my new members. I'm just so excited to have you join me. What an honor. And I hope you enjoy forging with me through the seasons. We've been doing this every single week since last January and coming up on a year. This week, we're going to be talking about how to have a wild Christmas. And then next week, we're going to talk about a wild food Christmas. And we're going to have Suzanne Upton, and one of our members, and Jana Jones. Both are going to come and show how to make wild teas and how to make wild foods for Christmas. So that'll be awesome. But right now, we're just going to get into talking about the reason for the season, and then how we can use nature to decorate the house and how to make gifts. And I hope you get so many great ideas that you just go outside tomorrow and pick up all the nature scraps to fill your basket with. So that'll be fun. All right. So then for our cooking demo, I'm not actually going to demonstrate it for you, but this is what I made. And I made these last night, and Jason helped me to take hickory nuts and to crack them and get the nut meats out so that I could make Russian tea cakes with hickory nuts instead of pecans. And so it's a lot of work, but they taste, honestly, I think, better than pecans. And so, Jace, would you like some?
I sure would.
Okay. So do you want 1, 2, or 3?
One would be fine for right now. And did you say we have some tea available as well?
We do. So hold that, okay. And go ahead, and you're going to want to sweeten it for sure. I know.
With a little bit of something. Is this the honey?
Well, that's honey. And then I'm going to, this is my favorite way to get the the bark and everything out of your cup. So see this, guys? You want to get one of those. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually put into my comments some ideas I think that would be for wild women and wild men and herbalists and stuff, kind of things that gifts that you want to have. This is a gift you want to have in your stocking for sure. All right, so I'm going to just take a scoop and then put it through here, and then I'll keep all of the spices and roots and stuff or bark in the sieve. So hold on, Jace. And I'm going to let this keep steeping because it hasn't been all that long. So it probably won't be as strong as I'd like it to be, although it will taste like sassafras for sure. And then I'll let you sweeten it the way you want it.
Okay, one plug for these cookies, which they're our favorite, I think, at Christmas time. And I don't think we do them the rest of the year. So this is definitely the Christmas flavor that we have cherished and we go back to every year. So
yeah, they're not good for you or anything.
Well, but that's something in your family as well you might find enjoyable, is that you've got a traditional type of cookie that you have in the holidays or a food that you like. And so should I sweeten that now?
Yeah, and then I want to see what you think of it, because this is my own concoction.
Okay. Is this honey going to be?
You know, I absolutely love the hickory nut milk, but this is going to be a little different with the sassafras. And usually when we do spice cider, we just use apple cider with the orange.
Yes.
And I'll do that this Christmas.
Yeah, we enjoy that kind of have that kind of flavor. So
okay, tell me what you think.
Let's try it. That's got a very pleasing flavor.
Are you kidding?
Oh, it is. It's good.
Oh, I'm so thrilled.
Yeah. There's a little bit of the smell of the orange and
the orange wasn't in there for very long.
Well, it's okay. It was a little bit.
Okay, and I want some honey too.
That's good. That is pretty good.
Thank you. Okay, well, try your cookie.
Well, I'm going to enjoy these cookies.
Well, but it has hickory nuts in it.
Well, but I ate some last night. Don't let her fool you.
We all want to watch you.
Don't let her fool you. They have the powdered sugar on them.
Oh, you know what? You could make them healthier if you really wanted to. You could buy Swerve powdered sugar, which is really expensive, but it's just as good as powdered sugar, and it's good for you and not as bad for you. So what do you think?
Just as good as usual.
Okay, cool. All right. So that's our wild tea. Let me try it. That is really pleasing. I'm going to have to put that in my cookbook. All right. So let's see. We're going to be talking about the reason for the season. And so I've put together a slideshow, which I'm going to show you some things about that. And then we're going to go into things you can make for gifts and to decorate with. And then, of course, at the very end, we'll do the nature slideshow, which is what I forged for this week. And you can as well on Nature's store grocery shelves. So let's go to the Wild Blessings Christmas slideshow, Jace. Are you ready?
Okay. Would you like to see the screen like this? I think our friends would probably like to see the slides large like this. So let's go ahead and do that.
Yeah, that's fine.
And let me start playing the slides so you can.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's coming up next, so I'll have to.
You don't see them? Do you see the?
I can see the slides, but nothing's moved. It just says a Wild Blessing Christmas.
Well, I'm not going to move it into.
Oh, there it is. Okay, Jesus is the reason for the season, and so I'm going to have all kinds of posts and Wild Blessings with Holly Drake Facebook group where I'm going to be giving away many of these gifts to people who comment. And so there'll be different threads. And one of them is going to be, how do you keep Jesus the reason for the season? And how do you celebrate Christmas in ways that are meaningful to you? So I'll be putting that thread up tonight. All right, next one. Okay, so this is the One Solitary Life, and I'm going to actually put this into one of the links for you because there's this wonderful man who does a great job, but I'm going to read it to you. It says, he was born in an obscure village. He worked in a carpenter shop until he was 30. He then became an itinerant preacher. He never held an office. He never had a family or owned a house. He didn't go to college. He had no credentials but himself. 19 centuries have come and gone, and today he is the central figure of the human race. All the armies that ever marched, and all the navies that ever sailed, and all the parliaments that ever sat, and all the kings that ever reigned, have not affected the life of man on this earth as much as that one solitary life. So we're talking about Jesus, and so he's the reason for the season. Let's try the next one. Okay, so I was just out this morning reading Luke chapter 2 in the Christmas story. So pull out your Bible and read the story and look at, I'm going to be giving you all the prophecies concerning just his birth. There was over 330 some prophecies concerning his entire life, but I'm going to be giving you in the handout all of the prophecies only related to his birth, which were remarkable, like where he was to be born, and he would be born to a virgin, and he would be going to Egypt, and all kinds of really bizarre and very specific things that would indicate that Jesus was the fulfillment of these prophecies. All right. And then I wanted to tell you that the heavens declare the glory of God. And so one of the things I want to really recommend you do this Christmas season is to watch this. You can get the DVD or it's on YouTube as well. It's called the Star of Bethlehem. And so because God created the heavens and the earth, and the stars were so mathematically put in place, we can actually people used to, those sailors and stuff used to be able to sail across the ocean just by watching the sun and the stars at night and know exactly where they were going and end up going to the port they wanted to be at. This is before GPS and stuff, which is all based upon the mathematical precision of creation. And so what is amazing to me is that we have now a software, it's been around for a while now, that can literally, using was it Kepler who came up with the mathematical precision of how to map the stars? Anyway, this software can tell what was happening at any period of time on the earth, at any place on the earth, in the night sky at that time. So this particular man did this amazing documentary where he took that software and he went back to the time of Christ, and he found out what was happening in the sky at Christ's birth. And it is so remarkable. I'm not going to spoil it for you. You must watch it. It will be such a great thing to do with your family. And also it shows what happened in the night sky at the time of Christ's death when he was 33 and his resurrection. And honestly, when I first saw this, I fell on my face on the floor and I just worshiped, because it just blew my mind how God was announcing his son, his gift to us, which it's just so good. So Jace, you want to put in a plug for it, or?
I will before we show. Tell them what we're going to
Okay,
do.
so like at the very end of class today, I'm going to actually show how many minutes?
About a 6-minute preview.
About a 6-minute preview of that documentary, but that'll be at the very end. So stay tuned for that and you'll be blessed. But I really recommend watching the whole thing. Okay, next one. All right, so let's talk about decorating with nature. So you can decorate using all of the seed pods and evergreens and all the things that are still out there, even though it looks like a lot of the color's gone, there's still berries. So go collecting and then use them with a glue gun, which is basically all you need to do everything you're about to see in all of these pictures. Go ahead. So this was Thanksgiving. I decorated the centerpiece, and honestly, the centerpiece has been used over 80 times, I'm sure. And all it is a piece of not poison ivy, but English ivy that Sherry Colwell gave me as a gift. And it's like 5 feet long. And so I love to, when I have a wild food feast, put it in the middle of the table and put someone in charge of beauty, and they decorate it with whatever flowers are out at that season of when I'm having my feast. But this is the one I did for Thanksgiving. So let's go to the next one. Decorating the mantle, you can see the mullein and the evergreens. Go ahead. And then we don't usually have a Christmas tree, but this particular year, my boys said, can we be normal and have a Christmas tree? And so we went and my friend Diana let me pick one off of her land. And so we cut down this tree and brought it home, and the boys decorated it. And most of the decorations were just made out of ornaments that we made out of nature. So this is hickory nuts and acorn caps. And I always put a little diffuser ball on it so I could put Idaho blue spruce or fir on there when the tree no longer smells good. Then you smell like you still have a fresh Christmas tree. Go ahead. And then, oh, this was really fun. So this is just a soup can, just a regular soup can. So save your soup cans, guys. And then decorate it. And I just put some, it's not yarn. What is that? Twine?
Yeah, just twine.
Hemp, I'm not sure what it is,
Yeah.
around the top with a glue gun, because that's really all you need to do any of these things. And then in here, I've got pussy willows. I found a turkey feather. This is just some maiden grass and some seed stalks, echinacea. There's some beauty berries still out there. I love these. These are little iris seed pods. And the way I make it heavy is I put rocks in the bottom. And so therefore, it makes a great centerpiece. It makes a great gift. Last year, I had about 30 of my friends over, and we all made them, and it was so much fun. So there's a few examples right there. Yeah. Okay, and then making wreaths. Sandy Henry is a genius at it, and I helped her last year to collect some. She asked me, Holly, come help me get some evergreen tips. So we went to a place and got all these huge 40-gallon trash bags full of evergreen tips, and then we made, using her machine, these wreaths. And then Grace and Laurel decorated one on the left, and then Kinsey is decorating a wreath that she made at my house on the right. Okay. Oh, and this was really fun. Sandy showed me how to make little silly gnomes out of just using evergreen. And I can't remember what that white stuff is called. Sandy, if you're on here, would you please tell me? But I had to buy it actually from the florist, which is unusual for me to buy anything. And then in the middle, that was a gnome that Tracy Terry made for me. Tracy, I still love it. Is it on my counter? I hope it is. I was going to put it there. Okay, keep going. Here's just making some more of those ornaments, and you keep going. Those are some of the ones that my friends made. And then you can make your gift bags like this. These were from last year, actually, and look how nice they look. I mean, I made them probably in late November, but you can make them right now. Ferns are still out to be gathered, and so you can make them with ferns. Here's some more that are just, they still look as good as when I put them on actually a year ago. And I had a party on the other day, and it was like a white elephant exchange, and I hadn't even had time to put together a gift. So the ladies were here. I went upstairs. I got one of my bags that was already ready for me, and threw something in it and handed it. It looked really beautiful. It looked like I had really spent time preparing for it. But that's a fun way that you can have your gift and your presents wrapped rather than having to go spend money to buy them. Go ahead, Jace. And then just more decoration. Keep going with presents. Now, this was really fun. I did this week, and I was so excited about it. I really wanted to show you. So here's an example. So I put magnets on the back of this one, but I made quite a few. I'll show you all of them. Well, actually, you can see them there. But this is a yucca seed pod, and this is wild grapes. And I have no idea what that is. If anyone knows, let me know. This is sumac berries. This is a branch with an acorn on it. And it's really unusual to find an actual acorn that hasn't dropped, that's on the branch. So I put that there. This is a catalpa seed pod. And these are rose hips. And this is a pumpkin stem. And for years, I've always saved my pumpkin stems. And honestly, I think my husband's finally getting me. It's like, why do you save this stuff? Well, I mean, look how cute that looks as a stem. So, I mean, aren't you glad I did, honey? I'm sure. Anyway, so this will be a gift, or I don't know. I might even try to sell them because they turned out so nice. Whoops. Oh, that magnet came off. All right, so I'll show you just briefly in person some of the other ones. So this is kind of pitiful, but if you see this here, this is sassafras. So these are the sassafras stems that I was cutting off just a little while ago. I had sassafras tea last week, and I saved the ones that I had decocted. So dried them up, and there they are used here. So this is a polypore mushroom, bittersweet. This is a spruce branch that lost all its needles. That's an alder catkin. These are hickory nuts. And this is the sassafras, the red acorn caps. This is a mullein seed stalk. And more bittersweet, another catalpa, and voila, another cute little pumpkin stem. So I thought that was really fun. And so I guess what this was is I found these old siding things in a field, and I collected a bunch of them, and I've used them for years making seedscapes, and I saw an idea of doing this type of thing on cards, and I thought, well, why not do it on my leftover stuff here? So always when you see something before you throw out, think, well, what could I use that for? Okay, so let's go to the next slide. Whoops, we lost the slides. Do you think, okay. There we go. And then there's another set of 3 that I did. Keep going. Okay, those are the other 2. So another thing you can do is make frames. And so I bought these at Walmart, and they're just, I don't know, I think they were like 99 cents or something. But I had a bunch of little girls over, and they had so much fun decorating them with nature scraps, with my nature wardrobe. And so there's some pictures of them doing that. And I did one this week. Let's see, where is it? So here's one that I made that I'm going to be giving away to someone who has these colors. So, and then you just put the picture in there. Okay, keep going. There's the girls with all of their frames. That was such a fun time. Okay. And then making seedscapes using a big piece of wood. And here's Martha Ensman, and the one that she made for me that I showed you last week, which is so beautiful. Honestly, when she was making it, I never even looked at what she was doing. I just kept saying, hey, could you use a mullein seed stalk, or could you use a catalpa or whatever? And I kept bringing her things, and she'd say, sure. And then when she finally showed it to me, I was absolutely amazed. But she is amazing. So keep going, Jace. Those are close-ups of her work. Keep going. And then making forest folks or forest friends or angels. And so those are super fun to do. So I wanted to show you one of the things that I really recommend doing this Christmas for your loved ones is give them something like, let's see, where did she go? All right. So give them a bag with like a styrofoam ball and lots of nature scraps, like a lot of them, different kinds. And then you might even want to give them one that you did, so that this could be your gift to them. And then they get to have a whole bunch of things they can make, and they take this and turn it into this. And then you can even say in your card to them, when you make your ornament or whatever, let's get together and have some sassafras tea, and we'll make the ornaments together. So it's a 3-way gift. So you're giving a gift of what you made, you're giving the things you need, and you might want to get them a little glue gun, because you have to have a glue gun. And then you're giving them a bunch of your nature scraps. So I'll show you details of that in probably my class review. But so that's for that. And then you could come up with one for your nature folks too. And so you make sure that you have a stick for its body, and you have, something, acorn or something for its head, and make sure you have a whole bunch of things so they can make it theirs up to the way they like it to look like. So this is just a sample. Go ahead. So here's a bunch of examples, and we'll go through these really quick. Oh, by the way, these were the kids that were here last week helping me in class, and this is what they made. It was incredible. Here's some more children, the things that they created, so precious. And they were so excited. They love doing this. They do need a little help if they're younger and making sure that they don't burn their fingers with the glue guns. I always keep lavender essential oil with me in case they get burned. Okay. Boy, this tea is really good. Oh, I thought these were super clever. This was done by Paula Medley's kids, the ones before. All right, now let's stay here for a moment. So when my boys were little, we homeschooled, and I honestly thought that working with Legos was school, right? Because it's amazing what they can make with Legos, and it really develops your mind and your brain. But making a nature world is another great thing that you can do. And the one over on the right-hand side was made by Bethany McDill back at the time. She's now married, but she was probably 14 at the time. And Grace Kennedy, who's also married. And they did this together on my hearth, and it was unbelievable. It was gigantic. And then when their little sisters came over to make the forest angels, they had this play set all set up. And then Jason and I found this incredible birch tree that was, sometimes birch will set their roots down over a log or something, and then the log rots away, and then you have all of this space underneath. If you've ever seen that, it's kind of interesting. So we took all of the forest angels up there and just kind of played with them in the snow. We didn't play with them, we just set it up, and he took pictures. So this is kind of Playmobil at its finest. No plastic, and it's certainly cheaper and a lot more fun, and you're much more invested. Okay, hon. Yeah, there's just more of the same. Another thing you can give at Christmas is healing gifts. And so this is my son, Justin, and he's, I don't know, maybe twice a year, he says, Mom, I'm almost out of my immunity blend. We also call it a kick-ass blend, and it has 15 drops of frankincense, 15 drops of lemon, and then 15 drops of Melrose, and 15 drops of, what's the other one? I can't even see it. Anyway, and then 7 drops of frankincense and 7 drops of oregano. And then you fill up the rest of the way with olive oil. And so I don't know if you can read what he wrote there, but he said, he gave a testimonial. I asked him to tell me why he wants this all the time. And he says he's rarely ever sick because he puts it on his feet in the morning and he puts it on his feet at the night every day. And he's been around people who have been unwell, and yet he has not caught it hardly at all as compared to before he started this. So he really is a champion for essential oils. And so you can give the gift of oils at Christmas, and that's a great gift. Mary was given frankincense and myrrh. Okay. Other gifts that you can possibly give. What does that even say? Oh, okay. This was just a whole bunch of gifts I made one year of like body balms and body butters and bath salts. And here's a bath salt that I love taking a therapeutic bath. And in here you have magnesium, which is Epsom salts, and you have baking soda, which helps with alkalize your body, has a little bit of bentonite clay, which helps to draw out impurities and tighten your skin and soothe your skin. And then I also add some powdered milk, which really, really feels creamy and good for your skin. And then I add to that about 30 drops of some delicious essential oil. Make sure you get in the bathtub as hot as you can stand it. Then you put these into the bath once you're in it so that all this goodness goes to your body and doesn't just evaporate into the air. So that's a great gift that you can give. So giving the gift of, go back a second, giving the gift of healing is so wonderful. Giving the gift of essential oils is a wonderful gift for diffusing or for rollers. And so I've done those many years. Okay. Oh, yeah, there's more essential oils. And, oh, I just put this in. I don't think you could do this for anything other than just the beauty of a photograph. But Tracy Terry did this, and I thought it was insanely creative. And look at how beautiful it is. Honestly, I don't know how she did it, So maybe you might want to write that in the comments, Trace, and let us know how you did. But I just thought it needed to be celebrated. Keep going. Okay, that's the end of it. So for unto us a child is born, for unto us a son is given, and his name shall be Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Prince of Peace, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. And so that was prophesied in Isaiah. And so Jesus is the reason for the season. And I cannot wait to see the things that you guys watch and that the songs you like to listen to and the books you like to read and the Advent, the way you celebrate Advent of this amazing, the coming of the Messiah to our earth. And so share that, and everyone's names will be put into a raffle, and then I will be picking out lots of names for some of these gifts to be given away. Other gifts that you can give that are on my counter, so I can just talk about, are you can give away food. So this is my blackberry wine that I made last July, and this is an amazing high bush cranberry syrup, which smells just like, well, it's very similar to cranberries. It's kind of a cross between cranberries and dirty socks, but I do love it, especially if you put enough sugar in it. And that's a great substitute for cranberries. This is fermented onions, and see how I just put a little bit of pine and a little bit of yarn on there. And then I made so many jams and jellies this year. This was dandelion blossom jelly I made last spring. Look at that color. And all I did was put a walnut on top and some acorns. And this was fun. This is a beautiful, delicious wild grape jelly that I made. And I actually found these grapes just yesterday. They had fallen into a stash of blossoming vine. And so they hadn't landed on the ground, and they were just sitting there waiting for me to pick them. So I put them in there, and there's a grapevine tendril, which seems kind of apropos. And this one is autumn olive apple butter. And I thought that was fun to put a pearl inside of that little acorn cap. You can also take rocks, and you can, Jason wrote all kinds of fruits of the spirit on all these rocks, and I've given all the other ones away, but I still have peace and I have hope over there. What else can you give? So we talked about giving these beautiful vases, which cost nothing, literally. Oh, I have to show this. This is so special. Rachel Salmons made this tree for me about 3 or 4 years ago. And anyway, all of it is looking kind of sad right now. And I forgot to put pictures of it in my slideshow. But this was holly leaves and beech nuts. And oh my gosh, the whole thing is just absolutely glorious. So I'll put the fresh pictures of when she first made it in there for you. Okay, what else am I missing on the countertop? Okay. All right, so we're going to get into my nature slideshow, and briefly I want to tell you what's in it. I had the kids that were here last week, well, they stayed for dinner. We had a wild pizza and a wild nettle soup with Jerusalem artichokes. That was amazing. So you'll see pictures of that. And then they made a huge mess in my living room, where they made these incredible forest angels and creatures and friends that they created out of their imagination. So you see those pictures. And then my neighbor, Kasia, called me and said, Holly, I need help with a school project. I need to go make something with Appalachian food for my cooking class or whatever for high school. So we went foraging, and we got a lot of Jerusalem artichokes, and we got sassafras root and hickory nuts. And so you'll see pictures of that. Then what else did I do? Oh, this was weird. So when I was collecting black walnuts, I filled up a huge trash can, like a 40-gallon trash can full of the hulls, which used to be green and then they turned black. But when I put them in there, I filled it up with water so that it would make an amazing pesticide with the juglone that's in there that we talked about when we were discussing black walnuts a few weeks ago. So there's what a walnut looks like without the husk. But the water turns really, 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 really dark. And it stains everything. So I've made dyes out of it, and we'll do classes in the future on dyeing with different wild plants. However, I thought, you know what, I'm going to try and dye my hair with it. And so I know it's not dark like this, and I only left it on for about 10 minutes. But the next time I'm going to leave it on maybe a half an hour or something. I was just a little afraid that it would be really dark and freak everyone out. But my hair is definitely darker than before I tried it. And the other thing that's crazy about it is I was reading how good that is for dandruff, and I struggle with that and also with kind of an itchy scalp. And after using this I put like a mask on my hair with plastic after I had it in there just for 10 minutes. It's unbelievable how much it healed that up and took away the itch. So I was pretty excited. The other thing that I'm really excited about this time of year, and you'll see it in my slideshow, is these are witch hazel seed pods. And these seed pods, I'm kind of bummed because it was on my bucket list to watch them explode because the flowers are all spidery and yellow, and I only have the yellow kind, but sometimes they're red, sometimes they're even purple, but the kind I have are the Virginianus and Hemamelis Virginianus. And so just last week, these were flowers, and then they did this. They already opened by the time I found them. It was only just a couple of days later, so I missed it. But there's another place a little higher up or lower down, different place on the mountain where I can go find maybe some that haven't exploded yet. The reason why I want to watch them explode is because they sound like a little gunshot going off, and they can actually expel the seeds 40 meters away. And so I just have to see that. I'm sure you have a curious mind too. So that's exciting. So you'll get to see that. And also I found out that the seeds taste like pistachios, which is one of my obsessions. So I want to catch the seeds coming out and eat them because that's something I'd like to try as well. So you'll get to enjoy that. And then you'll get to see what kind of wild cooking I did this week. And looking forward so much to watching this together. And then we'll watch the Star of Bethlehem, and then we'll say goodbye. Okay, so that was fun. I totally forgot to show you. This is another thing that you can get at Walmart, and these are fun. And these are letters. You can get these probably at Hobby Lobby as well. And so these are really beautiful to decorate with nature scraps. And I had a young friend who made some absolutely glorious, and she made them so that she could actually hang jewelry from it, which was really fun. So that might be one of you might want to get one of those if you win one of my contests. So I'm going to go ahead and have us watch the video, the little clip that Jason pulled together of the Star of Bethlehem. And then after that, we're going to talk about something really exciting that I'm doing this month and next. And so I'll see you in just a minute. And Jason, you have that ready to go?
Good evening. Are you guys excited? I am very excited because I'm going to be your guide to one of the great mysteries, the Star of Bethlehem. This has been a mystery for 2,000 years since the original events, and people have wondered about it for centuries, whether the star was a real event or whether it was something made up by the early church. And really that's the two basic positions people have taken historically. Believers, some people believe the Bible is true and they say, well, the star's in the Bible, so I'm good with it. They don't worry about it. But there are other people who have a more critical attitude towards the star, and they read the story and they say, wait a minute, that star is described as doing things that stars can't do. That must have been made up. It's a myth created by the early church to add weight to the name of Jesus of Nazareth. Well, those are the two pole positions. We're not going to take either one of those this evening. What we're going to do is to treat the star more like a puzzle or a mystery to be solved. And we're going to go through the Bible and find all the clues we can there. And we're going to compare those against the facts we know from history and see if there's a matchup. And I think you're going to find this completely fascinating. Next thing that happened to get me on the path to what I'm going to show you, my church asked me to teach a course called Essentials, which is the biblical basis for the core beliefs of Christianity. So I'm writing the curriculum for Essentials, and I decided, well, why not put in just a little section in the Essentials course about external evidences, meaning things outside the Bible that tend to show the Bible is true. And as I was putting that one together, the star came to me. I thought, my goodness, the Star of Bethlehem. If that's an actual historical event, how about that for an external evidence? So that turned me on totally. And I said, okay, now's the time. I'm not thinking about maybe someday. Let's start. And so I bought some astronomy software. And for months, and it actually turned into years, I would go out on the deck after dark, after my girls had gone to bed, and I would go through that article, tap on my computer, look into the software, look at the sky, found everything in the article, eventually found a whole lot more, and a lot of stuff that I have to say was pretty darn close to shocking to me. Real astronomical event. Why are we just hearing about it right now? Why isn't it all disclosed in history books? Why haven't you already heard about it? Didn't you wonder about it? I wondered that. When I began finding all this stuff, I wondered, why are we finding this stuff out now? So let me explain that a little bit. There's several reasons that I want you to know. First, we couldn't really know what the ancient skies looked like before we discovered the math behind the movements of the solar system. That happened in the 1600s. Now those laws hold today. They're math, and they're the same laws that NASA uses and the ESA uses to predict where planets will be. Before that, we couldn't calculate what the skies looked like in past times. But with Kepler's discovery, we can. But I asked, did they, my people, the Jews, not hear? Of course they did. And then he quotes David. He says, their voice has gone out into all the earth, their words to the ends of the world. Let me just paraphrase that now. What Paul is saying, yeah, the Jews, my people, knew the Messiah had come because the stars told them. Just so you know, the planets misbehave. Let me show you what they do. Here's what it looks like. Here's what Mars looks like as it moves through the fixed stars. It moves along like you'd expect it to, but then it slows down and loops. Continues on a ways and loops again. Well, what's with that, Mars? That's pretty weird, isn't it? Okay, I mean, it's looping through the sky like that. That's exactly what it looks like, but of course it's optical. It's what astronomers call retrograde motion. I'll animate Jupiter and let it drop a tail so you can watch it. Jupiter passed Regulus, changed its mind, stopped and went back for a second close approach. That's 2. Passed Regulus again, changed its mind, and came back for a third close approach. Triple conjunction, much more rare, much more rare. And if you choose to see it, Jupiter has just drawn a halo or a crown over the king planet. Interesting. I can see king there, can't you? Well, that's pretty interesting. That's pretty cool. But there's something even bigger that I got to show you that really spooked me when I saw it. And to do that, I'm going to take you back to the Bible, to the last book of the Bible. We've just been in the first book of the Bible. Now we're in the last book of the Bible, Revelation. In September of 3 BC, when Jupiter is coming in a close conjunction with Regulus, the king planet and the king star. That happening in Leo, the lion representing the nation of Judah, the tribe of Judah. That rises in the sky, and behind it rises Virgo, the virgin. And she's clothed in the sun, and she has the moon at her feet. It's exactly what John describes in Revelation 12. It's what he saw in his vision. It's obvious. That got me. When I went on the time forward and saw that rise and realized, oh my goodness, that's what John saw. There it is. That really let all the hairs come up.
Okay. Anyway, it's really fascinating, and I cannot wait to hear what you think of it. Do you have anything to say about it?
I wanted to encourage you to look for the Star of Bethlehem. The presentation, I gave you just a short preview. I cut up into a preview. It's online in YouTube. You can do a search for Star of Bethlehem, excuse me, on YouTube, and you'll find a complete copy. We purchased years ago this DVD, which you may want to get a DVD because the quality is better. It also gives you something to loan out to friends at this time of year, and just encourage them. Hey, watch this. Give it back to me and tell me what you think.
Yeah.
And so for those of you who are very committed followers of Jesus and want to share with them what the real story of Christmas is all about, this becomes a powerful way. Now, I also have to add, I have an engineering degree. I have a degree in aeronautical and astronautical engineering. I found this to be extremely well documented, extremely well researched. It's not just a Bible preaching presentation, but the author, the presenter, references in detail scriptural passages that I think maybe many of you, like we didn't when we first saw it, you've probably never thought before about how these passages in the Bible really describe what he's trying to show you was a scientific event. So it's a good blend of science and scriptures to maybe even add one more layer of proof that the Bible's description of these scientific events is not only accurate through the eyes of observers, but we now have software that can prove it. Now, I again would recommend, we're going to put a link down in the description below of how you can go to find BethlehemStar.com, or you can go to YouTube and search for the Star of Bethlehem, and you'll be able to either purchase a copy or watch it on YouTube. Let me encourage you to make that part of your Christmas. Maybe something you can do every year as a family. I think your children will enjoy,
especially
the learning.
teenagers.
Yes.
But something we did this week together is we went to Regal Cinemas, first time since COVID, and we saw the Chosen Christmas special, which was really outstanding. So if you've seen that, let me know. I'd love to know if you saw that. They had a special last year as well. So you can see that one on YouTube for sure, or at their thechosentv.com. Is that right, Jace? thechosentv.com. They have an app there, and they're now working on season 3. It's been seen by 190 million people, so it's really worth it. Okay, so back to Wild Blessings. I forgot to show you this incredible gift that I was given by Tori Cox. She gave me this amazing Kudzu Basket. So there's so many things you can do with nature, with the wild, that are functional and useful. In fact, we can do everything with God's creation. So, okay, I want to talk about the ways in which you can get some of these gifts from me. And there's 4 different contests I have. And one is, I would like to know what your favorite Christmas music is, favorite Christmas books, favorite, movies or TV series or whatever. And we'll put that in. I'll start a Facebook thread on that tonight. Okay, then another one is I'd like you to post pictures of your Wild Blessings Christmas. And if you make gift bags, or if you make soup cans, or the things you do, I'd love to get new ideas from you guys. If you make ornaments or whatever out of nature, I would love to see that. So those of you who post a picture in that thread, those names will be put in a raffle generator to pick a winner for one of these gifts. Another thing I'd like to see is some best gift ideas. So because we're all interested in nature, what are some of your favorite nature books? I hope you all have jeweler's loops. If you haven't bought them for your children, they should be in their stocking stuffers. I'll give you a link to that. Some great ideas for gifts. Like I showed you that little strainer for this. This was the best tea. I can't wait for you guys to try it. Okay, and then the last thing is we have a very talented, amazing group of people here at Wild Blessings. I am so honored that you belong to this group and that you watch and join in each week. And anyway, I want you, if you have a business and you're a member of Wild Blessings, I want you to put it in the thread. I already started on this in the comments, your link to your website, what it is you have to offer for sale, because you've got amazing gifts that are worth us investing in for Christmas. Like Suzanne Upton has a cookbook on eating wild that's coming out, I think, this week. And so she's going to be coming to teach on Tuesday, and I can't wait to learn from her and have you guys learn from her. But you could get her book as a Christmas present. You could also tell your husband, I really want that book. Or Cindy Christ, she has Following Seasons Botanical, amazing website. She has unbelievable things that she creates. She has her own still for distilling essential oils, and she makes soap. She'll be teaching in January on co-hosting with me so that she can share with you the things that she thinks you all would enjoy learning to do yourself. So many of you have something to offer. Rachel, she's going to teach us about mushrooms in January. So I'm excited about having a little bit of a winter pause for myself. I'll still be here every single Tuesday, but I'm going to have some of you help me teach the class. We've got Serene Solinsky, and she's going to be teaching about her amazing nature camp that she's got every summer. So if you're local, you'll definitely want your kids to attend that. But she's also going to teach about plant medicines in the winter, and that's coming up in January. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed this. I can't wait to see what you do. I hope this was early enough so that you can go on Cindy's website and order some soap or whatever as a gift for your loved ones. So if you have something that you would like to promote or sell, like Kathy Robinson is an amazing author. And really, Jason, the only thing I want for Christmas is her latest book, Mistletoe Christmas, I think it's called. And I read Shattered Guilt a couple of months ago. I literally read it in one day because I could not put it down. She's really a compelling author. I know it has nothing to do with wild edible plants, but sometimes we just need a mind vacation that's also stimulating. So Kathy's out, she put her link in that thread. So check her books out and get one for Christmas for yourself or for a loved one. I hope this has been a blessing to you. Merry Christmas. We'll be focusing on Christmas all month. And so not only are we having eating wild food Christmas next week, the week after that, I'm going to be talking about the healing oils of the Bible and the frankincense and the myrrh, and why that was a big deal when the 3 wise men brought that to Mary, and she knew exactly how valuable that was. It was like liquid gold, and she knew exactly what to do with it. And so we'll be having, that's what this stuff is here. We'll have a amazing talk about the 21 ways in which the oils and the plants were used in Scripture to support our emotional, spiritual, relational, mental, and physical health. And so that is incredible. And I'll be giving you handouts for that as well. I'll be giving you the handouts for the prophecies that were fulfilled in the coming of Christ as a baby. And so you can look forward to that this week in our class review. God bless you. Thank you for joining me. I hope this has been a blessing to you. And I can't wait for you to respond to the different contests we have this week. Take care.